This video is a recording from the Menprovement podcast, brought to you by Menprovement.com, the #1 self-improvement resource strictly for men. Go there today to see all podcasts, improve yourself as a man, and get access to 3 free ebooks, including one that will help you triple your testosterone naturally. Thank you and enjoy.
Ready to take your life to the next level? Then you're in the right place. Get all the information you need to be better, improve everything, and live life like a pro. This is the Menprovement Podcast with Sean Russell.
Welcome back to the Menprovement Podcast, brought to you by Menprovement.com, the #1 self-improvement resource strictly for men. Head there after the show to get your free self-improvement starter kit, including your free ebook on how to triple your testosterone naturally. I'm your host, Sean Russell, a self-improvement enthusiast who is obsessed with taking his life to the next level. I hope all of you are killing it in 2015 already, and I'm ready to make this my best year and help you make this your best year yet. If you haven't already checked out menprovement.com, our goals this year are to have it become even bigger than it already is and be an absolute hub for everything self-improvement for men. Not only will we have our own articles from myself and in-house experts from all around the web, but we'll be linking out every week to the best stuff around the web for men, so you don't have to go looking for everything you need to become the best version of yourself. It will all be in one place at menprovement.com. And we're aiming to make this the biggest self-improvement podcast for men as well in 2015. So I'm just so grateful for all of your support. If you missed last week's episode, I go through the 10 most powerful truths that I personally learned in 2014 that literally took me from working a 9-to-5 job that I hated with an anxiety disorder to what I am now and just the best version of myself that I've ever been, and working for myself, building Menprovement, and helping all of you guys improve your lives. And I think that these 10 truths can really allow you to take your life to the next level in 2015. So if you missed that episode, check it out on iTunes or go to menprovement.com/MPP021 or download the podcast app on your phone where you can subscribe to Menprovement and get every episode sent directly to your phone as soon as it comes out. Today's show is back to the main format with an awesome and inspiring guest, Aaron Marino, also known to the world as Alpha M from IamAlphaM.com. He is one of the world's best known style consultants, and his YouTube channel, Alpha M Consulting, currently boasts over 380,000 subscribers. Aaron teaches men to dress better, groom better, live better, and just be better versions of themselves, which is exactly what you are going to learn today. Always dressing sharp is a success tip that I learned years ago from motivational blogger Victor Pride, and I have kept it with me for the last 2 years, and I truly believe it has had a huge impact on my life, because the difference between you feeling your best could be that small task of simply showering, shaving, and getting dressed up, looking sharp, ready to take on the world, rather than just chilling on the couch in your sweatpants. I know how hard it is when you're on the couch. You know, objects in motion stay in motion, and if you can make style and grooming a habit in your life, that's going to go a long way. And if you enjoy this episode, afterwards, head to iTunes and leave us a review. It will be a huge thank you to me and the team, and it will help us rise from the 6th most popular self-improvement podcast to #1, and it will allow more men like you to find the show. Plus, it will help us get the biggest guests for you and just come out with the best content that we possibly can. And trust me, we have some amazing guests coming up in 2015, including Sasha Cobra, one of the most enlightened sexual teachers on the planet. And she's going to teach you how to be the most amazing sexual lover that your woman or any woman has ever had. Imagine being that guy that every girl talks about after they've been with, because of his ability to do things that other men can't do, like becoming multi-orgasmic and things you never even knew existed. And we're also going to have episodes on different topics like meditation, and we've got Wandering Earl from wanderingearl.com to talk about long-term travel, and he's been traveling the world for so many years on a budget, and we're going to talk all about how you can possibly make that a reality. But we'll talk about all that after this interview, because it's time to learn how you can gain the respect of your peers, attract the hottest girls, and amplify your life simply by improving your look with these tips from Alpha M himself, Aaron Marino. guys, welcome back to the show. I'm here with Aaron Marino from IamAlphaM.com and Alpha M Consulting on YouTube. He is one of the most well-known style and grooming consultants on the web with over 380,000 subscribers currently on YouTube. How are you, Aaron? So great to have you on here.
I'm great, Sean. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. You've done an amazing job yourself, and I love your site.
Thank you, man. And I'm just wondering, how long have you been doing this, and how did you get into it?
As far as the style, basically style for guys?
Yeah, like how'd you become this essential superstar in the style industry?
Okay, the quick version is I used to own a fitness center. Okay. And one of my clients back then was this guy named Steve. And Steve would always come up to me and talk to me about what he was wearing. And one day he came up to me and was like, "Hey, I've got a hot date. I don't know what to wear." And I said, "Well, why don't I come over and take a look at what you have? While we're at it, you need to trim your nose hair, and I'm going to take you to my stylist and we're going to get you a haircut." This was back in, I'd say, 2005. He went out. It was great, successful. And then I got a call from one of his female coworkers saying, "Hey, will you take my husband shopping? And how much do you charge?" And that's sort of when the light bulb went off. It's like, wait a second, I can make a living taking guys shopping and helping them just look better. And so I had the opportunity to sell my fitness center, and I started an image consulting firm, and immediately it was successful. I think really the big difference between me and a lot of other style guys and guys that are talking about style is that I'm pretty much what you see is what you get. And I'm a regular guy. I just happen to know more about, manscaping and shoes than I do football. And so that was really where it started. Since 2006, I've been doing this full time.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think a big difference between you and most other style guys is that you totally dominated the online world and YouTube,
Yeah, it's amazing. When I started doing YouTube videos, I got a big mouth. I like to talk, and my wife gets me a video camera back in like 2008. And so I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? And this was right when YouTube was starting. And so, all my videos back then were pretty terrible. Most of them are gone by now. But yeah, I just started consistently putting out content. And I had no idea what a subscriber was. I had no idea what YouTube was really all about. I just knew that it was a place that I could talk about style and guys' issues as far as grooming and style and basically lifestyle issues, and I could start posting videos. And it just sort of grew from there. I realized that I had to change my business model a lot because I realized that there was this need all over the world as opposed to just here in the US. And so it was pretty cool. It's been just amazing, really amazing.
Yeah, and that's like I tell people all the time, no matter what you want to do, I would recommend, having your own personal website for your name, an online portfolio, because it just puts you ahead of everyone else who you're competing against. And
absolutely.
I mean, I'm just getting into YouTube now. I've got probably like 6 videos, and it's a whole new world, It's so I will be interested to ask you about that later, but
yeah,
before that, I definitely want to pick your brain to see how guys can gain more respect and attract more women,
sure,
simply by changing their style. But before we do that, I got to ask you, I saw you on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shows.
Mine too.
Yeah. What was that like?
It was probably one of the best experiences of my life. You have to realize, though, that because I do videos on YouTube, being in that environment with all the cameras and just the hustle and bustle and all these people, the producers, it was like YouTube on steroids. And so it was amazing for me. The downside to Shark Tank was that I went out there really to pitch and promote my website, to talk about my YouTube channel. Yeah. And so I was out there pitching for 45 minutes. And what happened was they actually edited the 45 minutes down to about 7, where it was just about this product that I developed called the AlphaM style system.
Yeah.
And so, the experience was amazing. The result was less than impressive. I think I might have sold literally like 1 or 2 style systems from being on Shark Tank. But, it was amazing. It was incredible.
No, yeah, it's an amazing experience for any entrepreneur. And if, I would love to be on there one day. I don't have anything to sell, but, you never know.
It doesn't matter. Come up with something. They're
exactly, just to get your name out there, right?
And that's it. I mean, with Shark Tank, it's such a cool show, and what they've done is really just remarkable for entrepreneurs. If you just get on that show, I mean, it does a lot for your brand, for who you are. I mean, every time it reruns now, once a week pretty much on MSNBC, because they bought the rights to some of the old seasons of Shark Tank. You know, I look at my phone, I always know when I'm airing because it'll have like 700-800 people on my site at one time. And it's like, oh, Shark Tank's airing. And, you know, so it spikes up real high and then it crashes. But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And, you know, I'm so glad to have you here because looking sharp and dressing well and being groomed is one of the keys to success that I learned from a blogger I used to follow, Victor Pride from boldanddetermined.com. He'd teach men like really like bullshit free ways to improve your life. And one was just like always dress sharp, like no matter what you're doing, always look your best. And I was recently watching a movie called Paranoia on Netflix. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Mm-mm.
But it was pretty cool. Like they take this guy from one company and he gets fired and they want to kind of spruce him up and get him a job at this huge corporation so he can be like a mole. Yeah. And so, but he's kind of, you know, he's a smart guy, but he doesn't look great. And I wrote down the quote from the movie that really stuck out to me. And they're kind of like dressing him up. Like it's like a montage of like making him from this regular guy into this like super CEO. And the woman in her English accent, she says, when we meet someone for the first time, an immediate cognitive process takes place in our head. And we construct our first ideas on them based on their appearance, which is true. You know, as much as you say looks don't matter, in the long run, they don't, because if you're just a stand-up guy, you know, you can outperform someone even in dating who's a model.
Here's the deal. Do you mind if I cut you off?
Yeah, you probably know so much about this, so yeah. So
here's the deal. In the first 10 seconds upon meeting somebody, we are forming opinions, and it's not the conscious decisions. Like you look at somebody and you know you notice their shoes, and in your head think, oh well, he's wearing this, and so he must be this. It's all subconscious. And if the image that we are projecting is received well, we don't have to work as hard as somebody else who doesn't have as good of an image. It's such an incredibly competitive world out there. We need every advantage over our competition that we can get. If two guys go in for a job interview, go to meet a woman, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, any scenario, you take two guys equally qualified. One person pays attention to his image, his grooming, his style. The other person doesn't. The guy who pays attention gets the girl, gets the job, gets the success 9.999 times out of 10. And that 0.1001% is because he knew somebody. But yes, it's absolutely true. You know, it's just taking pride in the package. I mean, think of it as your personal brand. You know, what does your brand say about you? And you know, a good image isn't something that is something that you do on Sundays when you go to church, or something that you do when you go out on a date. It needs to be consistent in order to be, you know, sort of, you know, so if somebody's thinking about you, they actually, you know, think of the person that they see consistently, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And I love that you just said personal brand, because that's a really cool concept that I've never thought about personally. I've thought about it in the terms of business, but I think anyone can apply that to their lives. Just going out, every time you go out, you know, you're representing your own brand. That's really cool. And I saw that you have the AlphaM project going on YouTube, where you meet guys and you go in their closet and you give them an entire like life makeover essentially, and you film the whole thing. So I was wondering if you would be able to walk through like a general makeover for the average American man, like pretend you're like walking in the average closet and just go through what most guys are making mistakes on and what they should have there and how they could fix it.
Yeah, the number one thing, the AlphaM project is something really cool that it was something that I wanted to do where, you know, I actually pay. I held a contest for these guys to submit videos, and they actually, they submitted a video why they needed a makeover, and then my audience actually got to vote for their favorite. And so the top 5 people, all expenses paid. I flew them to Atlanta. JCPenney provided the clothing. I had sponsors that, helped me pay for it because it is expensive flying guys in from around the country. But the number one thing that most guys do that I see, that is the quickest, easiest fix is they're wearing clothes that are too big. And I'm not saying anything that isn't, said on every, men's style mistake blog or list out there. But really it's true. Guys are wearing clothes that are too big. Next time, if there's a guy out there and he's listening to this and he's like, well, I'm not sure, size down. What that means is try the smaller size. If you go into a suit store and you have the sales associate and they fit you for a 42 regular, try the 40, try the 38. You may find that you need to size back up, but a lot of times what you find is if you're normally wearing a large, you're really a medium. Guys, for some reason, think that we are, that we're A, bigger than we are, and B, that big equals comfort and roomy equals comfort. And so number one thing guys are doing wrong is wearing clothes that are too big. Let's get back to your question, though. I will ramble if you let me, Sean.
Yeah, you can ramble all you want. I know you've got so much information in that head.
The deal is, I always, whenever I analyze somebody, I always start at the feet. Whenever I dress somebody, I start at the feet, because really I feel like the shoes are going to make or break the outfit. People notice shoes, even if you don't, even if your brother doesn't. People out there in the general world are noticing shoes. And you can have a great outfit, but if you're wearing the wrong shoes, then guess what? That outfit might as well look like a dog shit on your leg, because, you totally crushed it. You ruined it. And vice versa. You can have an average outfit by wearing great shoes with it. You can elevate it to excellent. And so, whenever I go in, I will look at or analyze somebody's shoes. If they're worn out, if they're beat up, if they're dated. A lot of guys are still wearing shoes that are, either real square in the toe, have the real big, thick lug soles. The best tip I can give guys is stick to styles and shapes of shoes that are classic, not too busy or ornate. Stick to the classics. Your cap toes, your wingtips, your brogues, your even monk straps are starting to really see a big surge and comeback. Yeah. If you stick to the classic styles, you'll always be in style as far as your shoes are concerned, and they'll last you longer. And then we just work up the body. Let's take a look at your jeans. What do you wear to work? Let's take a look at your shirts, t-shirts, button-ups. Let me see your suits. By making simple modifications, a lot of times in fit or the fabric or the color, can really make a big difference to, the way that somebody looks in their clothes.
Yeah, shoes is like the biggest tip that I give people as well, because I'm a shoe guy. I've got a whole rack for my shoes in my closet, and I love boots. I mean, what do you think about boots? I think you can't go wrong with them.
No, good boots are great. And that's what whenever I see a guy, I'm like, hey, how do you feel about boots? Because boots are one of those things that when you wear them, it's kind of like a leather jacket. Yeah. You just feel cooler. And for guys that are shorter, I'm a short guy. And so whenever I wear my, Fry, harness boots, I get an extra 1.5 inch, chukkas, desert boots. There are a lot of great options. Boots.
Yeah, so you mentioned Fry. What other good brands would you recommend for guys to check out for shoes? One of my favorites is Clay. I don't know. Have you heard of Clay?
Is it casual, or what kind? Is it
it's
cowboy? What style?
It's CLAE.com. You should definitely check them out. And not a lot of people know about it. But they're kind of casual, but I have 3 pairs of their one boot called the Hamilton, in 3 different colors, and I've had them for over 2 years, and they're pure leather, and the more they get beat up, the better they look, and I've never had a better shoe in my life. They look amazing with jeans. Obviously, you can't wear them with shorts, but they look amazing with jeans, and they just make every outfit, even if it's a white t-shirt, just look so much better.
Are they like Chelsea boots? Do they have elastic on the side? Do they pull on?
They're not Chelsea. They're laced boots. I can't. They're just so different than anything else out there, which is why I like them. Yeah, definitely have a look. They've got some cool stuff on there. They've got They don't just do boots. They do all types of shoes, but it's online only, and it's just a really, really great brand that a lot of people don't know about.
No, well, that's cool. Thank you. See, this is perfect. I'm learning something. I'm probably gonna spend way too much money there. I just wrote it down.
No.
Here's the thing. A lot of boots, you can find cool boots in, department stores and big stores like, DSW. Like, here's the thing. You don't need to spend a ton of money. Like, Fry boots are expensive, right? You can spend upwards of $300 on a nice pair of boots, but you don't need to. You can go and find deals in places like DSW, Off-Broadway, Nordstrom Rack. Macy's has a pretty decent shoe selection. And a lot of the designers, they all make a boot option, whether or not it's, To Boot New York, which is known for their men's dress shoes. They also make some really cool, sexy Chelsea boots and dressier boots. There's tons of boot options out there, but Zappos.com, another great resource for guys. And I would say that if you're looking for shoes or boots, check online like a Zappos, because they are going to have such an amazing selection as opposed to a department store in all different price points. And you can sort and filter, and, they come in a day or two and free returns. You really can't lose with that.
Yeah. And I know a lot of guys are, very obviously going to be very money conscious when clothes. Would you say that it's better to go with less quality outfits than like just more
quantity versus quality?
Yeah, quality versus quantity. Like, what do you recommend?
I think there's a happy medium. I think that, you have to be smart. If you've got a shopping budget, you've got to basically look at your wardrobe and think, okay, well, where am I going to get the most bang for my buck or return on investment? If you've got $5 wardrobe and, you have two options. You've got, a pair of $60 jeans from the Gap or Banana Republic versus a pair of diesel jeans, even though, the diesel jeans are technically, better jeans, which honest to God, they're not, but because they are a brand name that people associate with high quality, you would be silly to go out and spend $400 on this pair of jeans when a $60 pair would be just as good. And so you can go out and buy other nice items. You have to be smart. It's really, I think, a balance between quality versus quantity. Now, that being said, you probably don't want to outfit your entire wardrobe in super cheap stuff because, the fabric isn't going to be as nice and the quality isn't going to be as nice. You're going to have to replace it a lot quicker than, a t-shirt that you buy, say at the Gap versus a t-shirt you buy, at Walmart. Chances are you're going to have to replace it a lot quicker.
Yeah, and the Gap is a pretty modest store price-wise, actually very modest. What are some what are some great stores that like guys who are used to just shopping at Costco or Walmart and, their wife buying them clothes can start at without really breaking their budget?
My favorite department store is Macy's. And the reason is because Macy's has different price points. You can find jeans that are, and not just jeans, but you can find some lower priced items. You can find some upper end brands. And they're always having sales. Gap is a great place, sort of middle of the road, but you always need to pay attention, look online, because if you're paying full retail price for these items, a lot of times if you go online, you're going to find coupons or they have discounts. You need to get familiar and shop at stores, that do offer sales, so you can stretch that budget. But Banana Republic always is going to have stuff for guys, but it's going to be that next step up over the Gap. They're the same company, it's just a little bit nicer, going to be more expensive. As far as department stores, Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom's has gorgeous stuff, but it's going to be 3 times as expensive as, say, a Macy's.
Yeah, my mom usually buys my dad clothes from Kohl's, like from Chaps and things, and they're great. They're great, but when Christmas comes and his birthday comes, I buy him stuff from Banana Republic, and I find that it is that step up, and I'm not paying that much more because they've always got like 40% off sales during the holidays and on random times during the year, and they got beautiful clothes for any size man.
Absolutely. And here's the other great thing about stores like the Gap and Banana Republic is that a lot of guys are wondering, well, is this stylish or is that stylish or how will that look? These two stores do a really good job of keeping their finger on the pulse of what stylish is. And so you pretty much know if you're going into a Banana Republic, they're not selling anything that is going to be out of style. And so it's almost, idiot proof in that regards. Same thing with the Gap. They're owned by the same company. The Gap owns Banana Republic. It owns Old Navy. It owns Piper Lime. It owns some other entities. But yeah, so you go into these stores and you know that you're going to be in style, as opposed to a department store that doesn't specialize in necessarily one thing or another. There, you can find some things that are going to not fit that great or be a little bit out of style or dated. But you go into like a Banana Republic or a Gap, they're not selling pleated pants. They're not selling cuffed pants. They're not selling, big baggy clothes, because they know that there is value in, selling clothes that actually are going to fit a guy's body and, are a little bit more tailored in nature.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's all great advice. And I'm just thinking, jumping back to what I said in the beginning about like always dressing sharp being such a successful tip. You always see guys out and about in sweats and like just looking like crap. And I'm not going to lie, it's me sometimes. But I find that
it's me too.
Yeah, I find that not even just because of what people think about you, but I find that if you're getting up and you're having like a cold shower every day, you're shaving, you're doing your hair, and you're dressing nice just to do anything. It's just, if you can do that every day, it can break you out of a rut of like mediocrity and just laying around and not going to the gym. So that's something I just wanted to throw in. But on top of that, what are some really good looks, like some really good outfits that you can wear to, a casual night out or like a date night that are really going to separate you from most other guys and then be attractive?
Oh, this is a great question. I think it really comes down to it. One of the things that you'll notice is when you see a guy and he looks good, you can't necessarily pinpoint why exactly or that one thing that's making him look good. It's because all of the pieces are working well together. All of the items are fitting him properly. And so I would say it really doesn't matter. Every guy needs two pairs of great jeans. You need a pair of casual jeans that might be a little bit distressed, a little bit lighter, and you need that dress pair of jeans. A dress pair of jeans with a great pair of dress shoes, a simple button-up, maybe a V-neck sweater over top of it, or a jacket is a great way to set yourself apart from all the other guys. Throw a pocket square in there to throw just a little bit more, pizzazz and to really take it to that next level. A great night out. I mean, that's you dress like that and, you're going to look better than 99% of the other guys out there. You're going to happy hour after work. Even if you don't wear a suit to work, throw a suit on, take your tie off, throw a pocket square in, great pair of shoes, great belt. As long as that suit fits you well, you're going to look like $1,000,000. Another thing that guys should try is play around with color, as far as your shirt. A great button-up shirt with a little bit of color is something that every guy needs at least one of those in his wardrobe. And it's funny, but it's every time I'm looking for a new shirt, I try to step outside of my box because I personally will stick to the whites, the grays, the blacks. I like that monochromatic look. But every time I push my own boundaries a little bit, maybe get something like a red or a pink or a blue that is a little bit louder than normal and tone it down with a top layer like a sweater vest, a cardigan, or a jacket, a denim jacket, anything, basically just toning it down a little bit, you get more compliments on that. I call it a calculated fashion risk. It's, you need to be willing to step a little bit outside of your box from time to time. Did I even answer any of your questions? Or
No.
Am I just talking again, Sean?
It absolutely did. And, I love when you said, like, when you see a guy who's dressed well, you just know it. And that got me thinking, I know you've seen the movie, probably Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
His character, if someone's interested in seeing, like, the way that I think is, like, the best way to dress for meeting attracting women, he dresses so well, and he takes Steve Carell from like the dad with the New Balance shoes to an absolute stud in like 3 days, and that movie's like great. I'm sure you.
Yeah, people say that. It's amazing. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with being the best dressed guy in the room. You know, you've got to be smart about it. You don't want to wear a tuxedo to the movies, obviously, but you know, guys have to get out of that fear of people looking at them, or, you know, it's okay if somebody, you know, notices that you put time and you put energy and you put effort into your appearance and your dress. It's okay. And let me tell you, you're going to get so much more out of life, out of relationships, out of work, out of all of your interactions by simply paying attention to the little things that the other guys aren't.
Yeah, definitely. Is there like a line between trying to dress to, you know, impress people, like it would be like trying to buy a Ferrari to get girls, and just like kind of dressing well just to amplify who you are and just because that's the kind of guy you are?
Yeah, I think that a lot of times when guys are very brand conscious, where they'll be wearing, you know, they want to make sure that they are wearing, it's sort of like the Ferrari, you know, the belt with the, you know, the buckle that lets people know that you spent, you know, $200 on it. Or they're wearing, you know, Armani Exchange t-shirts, or, you know, it's like whenever I see that, or the jeans with all the bling on the pocket, you know, I would say that, yeah, there's definitely a line, and, you know, so there, you can still dress well and still maintain, you know, a good style, but be age appropriate and just be easily transitioned from event to situation.
All right. Yeah. These have been, incredible style tips, and I want to move on to some grooming stuff, because I think that's probably equally as important. Okay. So what are, I guess, the initial top tips or things every guy should know about grooming?
Top tips. All right. Number 1. It is not a mistake that you were born with a unibrow, but maintaining your unibrow and not doing anything to separate them is number 1. You know, if you've got little hairs, you know, between your eyebrows, you know, separate them. Eyebrows are plural. You need to have 2 of them. Nose hair. Another thing that you've got to, basically, you need to maintain a grooming regimen. I would say once a week, sort of put it in your to-do list, where you go through all of the phases of what well-groomed is to you. And I really think that that's what it comes down to. You know, what well-groomed means to me is different than what well-groomed means to you versus my dad. You know, some basic ones are going to be, you know, like I said, the eyebrows, nose hair, ear hair, maintaining a haircut. A lot of guys try to push out a haircut way too long. You know, it's a great way to let yourself look a little bit shabby and straggly when your neck starts to get real grown in and hairy around your ears. You know, maintaining a haircut and not pushing it out too far is another great tip. Nails. People don't take enough time. Guys don't take enough time to really focus on making sure that their hands and their fingers look good. You know, if they're dirty, that needs to be eliminated. You know, take the little bit of time it is to clip or trim your nails once a week. Toenails, if you're wearing open-toed anything, you need to make sure that those toenails are looking good. And if you've got a fungus, go talk to a doctor, because there are things that people can do to get rid, or that you can do to get rid of the nasty, crusty, green, discolored, thick nails. All right? Yeah. See a doctor about it, for God's sake.
Well, as a soccer player, I used to have a black toenail for a little over a year, you know, until it fell off.
Yeah.
But I would have constant black toenails just from wearing cleats and just getting beat up on the field.
That's an exception. That's not, I'm not talking about people who are runners or athletes. Your feet are going to get messed up. I'm talking about the average guys just getting, you know, has super nasty feet. No good.
Exactly. What would you say to guys who, I know this trend has kind of gone out the window now. It was big 4 years ago. What would you say to guys who are scared of like being labeled metrosexual?
You know, it's funny. I really haven't heard the term metrosexual be used much at all.
It's gone now, right?
It's gone, and it's a good thing. The reason it's a good thing is because I think our society is starting to really embrace the fact that guys want to take care of themselves, and it's not a gay thing anymore, or viewed as a gay thing. And so once you took that stigma away from it, a lot of guys are getting a lot more comfortable in seeking advice, information, and help for their questions and their grooming and style needs. What was the question? I don't know that I answered it.
No, it's good. What would you say to a guy who is hesitant to do all these things and fix his nails and dress better because he's scared of his friends calling him metrosexual? Okay,
so your friends, here's the deal. As far as grooming is concerned, taking baby steps, focus on one thing at a time. And then, what happens is, like, say you want to, get your eyebrows a little bit more cleaned up, clean your eyebrows up. It's when guys go overboard and, start doing everything all at once that your friends are going to notice. Do one thing, execute it. And you know what? The chances are they may notice, but most guys are pretty oblivious and they won't notice.
Yeah.
And then once you've sort of gotten comfortable with that, incorporate something else, sort of like, baby steps to a better, more polished you.
Yeah, definitely. And are there any tips that you do to keep your skin clear?
Yeah, facial scrubbing brush. The Clarisonic Spin for Perfect brush. There's all sorts of facial scrubbing brushes and cleansing brushes on the market. It is incredible. It really helps keep your pores clear. It helps shrink pores, and it really does just. It makes a big difference. The other thing is moisturize. If I could only have known back when I was 20 years old versus what I am now, I would have started moisturizing and taking care of my skin a long time ago, because that is such a big deal. Also, wearing sunglasses when you're out in public, or not in public, but out in the sun. That is the number one thing you can do to reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles around your eyes. And that's one of the places that we show age first, is our eyes. And so, yeah, those 3 tips: facial scrubbing brush, moisturize, wear sunglasses.
Yeah, what moisturizer do you use? Because I should probably be doing the same thing. I always got dry skin.
Yeah, well, how old are you?
I'm 25, and I'm luckily enough, I have a baby face, and I don't really get any pimples or anything, so I don't really touch. I don't put anything on it.
It's like, don't mess with good, right?
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Well, trust me, at some point you're going to wake up in your 30s and you're going to be like, Mother Nature just gave you the finger. At least it did me. No, a lot of the moisturizers out there, everything from, Pond's, which is, my wife uses, I sometimes use. Kiehl's makes a great product. Zur, everybody's heard of Zur. They were sort of like the founders of men's skincare. There are lots of great products out there on the market. You just got to find something that you like, that's not crazy expensive, and, that works for you.
Yeah. And do you whiten your teeth, or do you do anything different?
Once in a while. I drink a lot of coffee. I do. Okay. I would say once every 6 months, I'll whiten my teeth, do something like trays for 2 or 3 hours, just to take some of the coffee stains away. Yeah, and I also use a Clarisonic or a Sonicare toothbrush. The electric toothbrushes, they are worth the money.
Yeah,
they get absolutely. They're great for your teeth and your gums, and get you nice and white.
All right, cool, man. I've got just a few more questions here. What advice would you give to guys whose hair is thinning, or they're balding?
It depends on what stage of balding that they're at. I would say that the number one thing that they should not do is try and hide it with like a comb over. But, hair loss is such a tough thing. It's very emotional. I don't care what age you start losing your hair, it is traumatic. There are different shampoos and things that you can try in order to slow or halt the onset of hair loss, but the deal is, once you stop it, it's a treatment. You've got to keep doing it. There are some great natural shampoos out there on the market. There are some treatments available that don't have sexual side effects. That's one of the problems with something like Propecia. Guys are a little freaked out because, they're like, oh, the side effect is, you can't get an erection. That's a big, bummer. And so, there are things out there. you know, there are all different reasons that people say that you lose your hair. Some is genetic, some is DHT buildup, some is, clogged pores. Do your research. There's a lot of information online. There's a lot of information even just on my website that I can send you, that you can link to, different treatment options available. But the best tip I give you, if you're going bald and it's inevitable, get a short haircut, grow some facial hair to help balance everything out. Maybe try some cool frames. There are ways that you can give yourself a great look that is super sexy, that is still going to work great for you. And so just because you're losing your hair, you're bald, doesn't mean that you're not attractive. It doesn't mean that you can't look like a sexy, beast. You just need to, be smart about things.
Yeah. And what I ask every guest is essentially, what do you do every day that's different from the average man that has fueled your success to where you are today?
I exercise every day. That's one of the things that, there are a few things I do every single day. I exercise every day. I get up early every day. I get more done in my day before 7 o'clock than most people do all day long. I get up at 5. I work for a few hours before I go exercise. I stay focused. The other thing that I do that a lot of people that aren't successful don't do is, I don't let failures get to me too much. I have failed a bunch of times at a bunch of different things, but what keeps me motivated, keeps me moving, is just this inner drive of knowing that you've got something bigger to do, better to do, and that eventually it's going to work. You just need to not screw up, stay focused and, stay hungry. I
love it, man. I love it.
It's and don't screw it up. And the other thing that gets me motivated and keeps me motivated is all the guys like you probably hear from, a bunch of guys, Sean, that, you're affecting people in a very positive way. Your site is about self-improvement, helping guys be the best they can possibly be. That's pretty powerful stuff. It's not like you're making, widgets or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but when you are doing something that is affecting people in a positive way, it feels great to help people. And so that's the other thing that gets me up is the emails, the fact that I know that I've got people to help that I haven't reached yet. And so that's me.
That's an incredible answer. Seriously, I love it. And since we've got a couple minutes here, I definitely want to ask you, as a new time YouTuber, what advice, you've been through it all. What advice do you have for me to get so many subscribers,
Consistency. The number one thing that people don't do on YouTube is they're not consistent. You need to put out content consistently. The other thing that a lot of people get hung up on is doing a video, or they don't want to do anything until it's quote unquote perfect. Yeah. It will never be perfect. Get it up. It's good enough. A lot of the most successful YouTubers you see are people that just churn out content and they do it consistently. I say, if you're not posting a video once a week, you're not doing enough. You've also got an incredible outlet with this website where you could grow incredibly fast if you ask people to subscribe, do videos, short videos, don't make them too long. One of the lessons that I learned the hard way was I used to do these like crazy, 10, 12, 15-minute videos and think, if I'm talking, people are going to be listening and watching. And then somebody actually showed me the analytics, and people only watch till about 4 minutes, and then they drop off. And so even if your video is 10 minutes long, 4 minutes. So try and keep your videos short, concise, 4 minutes or less, and put them out every single week.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll definitely try to do that. And subscribe to Menprovement on YouTube if you want some good stuff in the future. And obviously subscribe to Alpha M Consulting on YouTube, because your videos are incredible. I watched some of your old videos today from 5 years ago. And then I watched a few of your, the Alpha M project, and the quality is incredible. I assume you've got a crew and everything now.
One guy. I found one guy, a 22-year-old kid named Christian, who basically pestered me until it's cool. See, I'm not a tech savvy guy.
Yeah.
And so, I'd have my camera, I'd set it up in my bedroom, and I started improving, getting a better camera, getting a backdrop. But this kid was like, hey, I watch your stuff. Let me come down. I live in, an hour away from you. Let me come down and help you film a video. And one day I was like, okay, come on down. We'll do this. And yeah, it's just been amazing. He's been incredible and has improved the quality like a zillion times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I need. I need a Christian at some point.
You need a Christian. You don't need a Christian yet.
Yeah. One day, Menprovement
Exactly.
will need a few Christians. But yeah, this has been an incredible show. I've learned a lot, and I hope everyone listening can use this as motivation to kind of dress sharp every day, because I think you dressing in sweats and laying around every day versus you getting up and grooming yourself and dressing well every day could be the difference between you getting out of the house and actually doing what you want to do in your life and just not mustering the energy. Everyone knows what it feels like to not want to get off the couch, but if you can make grooming and style a big part of your life, I think that can really, really go a long way. So thanks so much for coming on the show. So grateful for it.
Thank
you,
Sean.
Man.
Keep doing your thing, brother. You're doing a good thing for the world and for guys out there. So congratulations to you as well.
Thank you, man. Thanks so much for listening to the show, guys. It's been an amazing pleasure talking with Aaron and bringing this content to you. And if you enjoyed it and you think you got something out of it, leave us a review, and we'll be so grateful for that. It will help us grow and bring on more great guests like Aaron. And also head to menprovement.com and get your self-improvement starter kit if you haven't already, which includes a framework for improving your life in any area you want and a guide on how to triple your testosterone completely naturally. I really enjoyed this. Have a great week. And remember, never stop improving.